In 2011, a family vacationing in Tennessee's Smoky Mountains recorded something unusual on video. The man filming spotted movement in the background, and shortly after it reappeared, partially concealed behind some bushes.
What's he doing?
The family suspected it was Bigfoot. The location, particularly around Klingman's Dome, is steep and challenging terrain, making it unlikely for someone to fake such a sighting in costume. In these mountains, encounters like this are far from uncommon. A man was camping in his caravan deep in the Appalachian Mountains when something unsettling occurred. He noticed the door swinging open and shut on its own. There was no wind, no storm, nothing that could explain it. The movement felt intentional, as if something unseen was causing it. Gripped by fear, he stayed inside until the activity finally stopped. As soon as things quieted down, he packed up and left. While exploring a remote cave deep in the Appalachian Mountains, Reddit user JTS4 encounters something truly eerie. At the time, the cave was unnervingly silent. Not even a single drip of water, just complete stillness. However, when he later reviewed his GoPro footage, he heard something chilling.
The mud just broke off as I left.
A distant, blood-curdling scream. Although he hadn't heard anything in person, the recording captured the scream clearly. Other Reddit users commented that it sounded like something straight out of a horror movie.
It leaves. It leaves.
Some suggested it might have been a trapped animal, a mountain lion, a wild hog, or maybe a fox, while others felt the sound was too human to be natural. So what was screaming from the darkness? For 2 consecutive nights, a family was disturbed by screams echoing through the forest. Initially, they tried to ignore it, but when the sounds began coming from the roof, the situation took a serious turn.
Oh, damn. Holy shit. All right. Some bitch is one on the other side of the house.
Some speculated it could be skinwalkers, while others thought it might be a wild animal, or even a mountain lion. Then things grew stranger. On the far side of the house, they discovered an animal skeleton, completely devoid of blood or any obvious explanation. No updates have been provided since, leaving everyone still wondering what really happened. This photo was taken deep within the Appalachian Mountains. A lone hiker was climbing a rocky path when the mist started to settle in. He stopped to take a picture of the fog-covered ridge ahead. However, upon later reviewing the image, he spotted something unsettling. A faint figure standing on the rocks far off in the distance. The hiker insists no one was there at the time. The area was utterly silent. So, who or what was lurking in the mist that day? Was he being followed, or did he unknowingly capture a shadowy presence? A trail camera positioned near the Greenbrier River Valley in West Virginia captured an unusual figure that many believe might be Bigfoot. The photo was taken just a few miles from a local resident's home deep in the Appalachian Mountains, a region long known for mysterious sightings. Locals often speak of eerie howls heard at night and huge footprints found in the forest. Could this trail cam have finally caught Bigfoot on film? In 2017, a hiker calling himself Mostly Harmless set out to hike the Appalachian Trail from New York to Florida. He carried no identification or phone, only a notebook filled with handwritten code. Along the journey, he introduced himself as Denim, or Mostly Harmless. Traveling solo, those who met him described him as friendly, quiet, and somewhat off the grid. Trail angels provided him with food, water, and even showers, which he accepted quietly with gratitude. Then, in July 2018, 2 hikers found a tent deep in the Florida wilderness. Inside was the body of a man curled up in his sleeping bag, showing no signs of violence or struggle. His food supplies had run out. In weighing just 83 pounds, his body showed clear signs of starvation. Without any ID or phone, identifying him was impossible. Despite clear photos, fingerprints, and numerous tips, He remained unidentified for over 2 years. It wasn't until 2021, when DNA testing was conducted, that he was finally identified as Vance Rodriguez, a tech worker from New York with a troubled past. The reason behind his disappearance into the wilderness remains a mystery, but many will always remember him as mostly harmless. Back in 1994, a woman and her family were camping near the remote woods of Columbia County, Ohio. Around midnight, a long, eerie howl shattered the silence. It was loud enough to wake them, and so unsettling they packed up and left right away. Before leaving, they managed to capture the sound on recording. The howl didn't match any known animal. It was deep, drawn out, and featured a strange pitch shift halfway through, almost as if it was trying to communicate. Some guessed it was a wolf, others thought it sounded human, but wildlife experts couldn't identify it. The clip later became known as the Ohio Howl, a possible Bigfoot sighting. Then, in July 2022, another similar howl was recorded in Ohio. Shortly after, a Reddit user posted yet another recording from the same region. What's your take? Could it be normal wildlife, or something far more mysterious? Cody had been living on his property for 22 years when something unusual occurred.
So I was mowing the yard yesterday and seen this little square patch of grass. It's never been here before. It's dead. When I drove over it, it kind of sank. And I came over here with the shovel and tapped on it. Let me get a little closer. It's some kind of door. I've been here 22 years and this has never been here before. So I really don't know what to think about it. But about 1944, there was a old cabin here that burnt down, and it may be some kind of well or storm cellar or something. I may dig it up if enough people show any kind of interest in it and want to know what it is.
While mowing the yard, he observed a gentle area of grass that was previously absent. Intrigued, he examined it closely and found a concealed door beneath the grass. Extracting it was challenging, but finally, he succeeded in opening it.
Well, it wasn't easy, but it's open. I don't know if it's an old septic or an old well. It's way out here in the field away from everything, but I had about a 15-foot stick of conduit. I stuck it down in there and couldn't touch the bottom. And I do have an old pump. I'm gonna stick in there and pump all the water out and see what in the world is down there. There's no telling, as long as it ain't an old septic. I see what y'all think. If anybody knows, let me know. But that's what it was. Had no idea it was here, so now y'all know.
It resembled either an ancient well or perhaps a storm shelter. With a long metal stick, he couldn't even reach the bottom. That evening, strange noises began emanating from beneath his house. He took a camera and went downstairs to explore what was causing the sounds. What he captured was not merely creepy, but downright frightening. What are your thoughts? A Reddit user captured a photo late at night, not paying much attention until they examined it more closely. Behind a house, something white was just barely visible. It wasn't smoke or a glare from a light. It resembled a person, or at least a humanoid figure, partially obscured and stationary. No one had witnessed it in real time. Only the camera had recorded it. Meanwhile, a family began noticing peculiar holes appearing in their backyard fence. Curious, they reviewed their security footage to uncover the cause, and what they discovered was far more than they had anticipated. Late at night, a humanoid figure emerged. At one moment, it seemed to attempt breaking through. No one knows exactly what the entity was, but the footage is enough to send chills down anyone's spine. Fortunately for the family, whatever it was never managed to cross over. In June 2020, Chris Hopkins and his friends ventured into an old naval base with his crew on a cold, windy night. Just moments after entering, something extraordinary occurred.
This looks so weird.
I don't think there's really anything.
Looks like a cave painting over there.
However, they continued on without incident until they were making their way through the woods. As they pushed through a fence to get to their car, they suddenly heard something pursuing them.
It wasn't my car, it was yours.
Make sure you don't get caught on the fence. Holy bro!
They acted quickly. Whatever it was intense and authentic. A boy went to his family's car to retrieve something when this occurred. He had only just opened the car door when a chilling, blood-curdling scream erupted. He quickly rushed inside and informed his parents, who then examined the security camera footage. The camera had also recorded the scream. No one could determine its cause. There was no one around and no indication of its origin. However, whatever it was, it certainly wasn't ordinary. This man was unloading his groceries. With his back turned to the security camera, everything seemed normal at the time. Just another typical day. However, upon reviewing the footage later, he noticed something unusual. In one of the snapshots, a figure appears standing right beside the car. He maintains that he was alone, claiming he didn't hear or see anyone, yet the image suggests otherwise. The figure doesn't seem threatening, but its sudden and unexplained presence has people talking. Honestly, it feels like there's more to the story. Perhaps he wasn't alone and is just seeking some attention with this image. Adam was hiking with his father, but at that particular moment, he was by himself. That's when it occurred.
Passed someone on the trail, like a guy. He looked like he was like from the 80s. He was wearing a full suit that like looked like he was from the 80s, and I was like, ew, I don't like that. I got a weird vibe from him. And look at what I just found. Is this not like terrifying? Should I open it?
The man remained silent, calmly setting a briefcase on the ground before walking away. Intrigued and unsettled, the hiker opened it. Inside, there was only an old map dated 1989. Nothing more. Yet the man in the suit was still nearby. Could he have been a time traveler from the 80s? Braden, a man from Appalachia, was suddenly awakened in the middle of the night by unusual sounds coming from the upstairs bedroom. Half asleep and curious, he reached for his phone to record the noise before heading upstairs to investigate.
What the fuck? Wow, it's really bad right now. Okay, hold on.
However, what he recorded was not merely the sound of creaking floors or wind. The audio revealed something more unsettling, his own voice calling him upstairs.
Jesus. Okay, hold up. Why is the tree on that? Whatever that is coming from up here. Should I attempt to go in there? Fuck. Because that was coming, all that thumping, it was coming from like right in there, in that room.
Brandon, come up here for a sec, man.
What the fuck? What the fuck was that? You guys, did I just hear that right?
Get up here now.
Okay.
The sound was distinct and impossible to dismiss, not a mere echo or glitch. Braden suspects it was a mimic, copying his voice. Do you think he staged this? If so, how might he have done it? In 2014, a group of kids were playing in the snowy forest when one of them noticed something unusual near a treehouse.
Anything happening? What is that? What? Oh! What? It's like a bear! Oh! What is it? Crap, where is it? Oh my god. What is it? Oh god, I saw it again! It looks like a Bigfoot! Oh god, it's there again! Is it Bigfoot? Oh shit! Oh. I see it! It better not be invading our house!
As they filmed, they captured a large, dark figure moving upright among the trees. Initially, they thought it was a bear, but the video suggested otherwise. The figure disappeared swiftly, yet it left behind enormous human-like footprints in the snow. Could it have been Bigfoot? A Reddit user once posted what appeared to be an ordinary photo of the forest floor. Just dry leaves and twigs. At first glance, nothing seemed unusual, but on closer inspection, a copperhead snake could be seen, expertly blending in with its surroundings. One careless step, and that quiet hike might have taken a dangerous turn. During a scream therapy session in the woods, a girl let out a loud, piercing shriek. Suddenly, a man appeared in the shot, clearly caught off guard while in the middle of his own business. The timing was uncanny, and his panic was unmistakably genuine. Reddit user individual insect722 received a Ring camera alert early one morning. Thinking it might be an animal, they checked the footage, only to see something far more unsettling. A person, dressed entirely in white, wandering around their property. They had recently moved to a remote area. No nearby neighbors, no passing traffic. Their home is perched alone on a fenced hill surrounded by dense forest. While they'd felt slightly uneasy before, this incident took things to a whole new level. So, who was that figure? And how did they get onto the property? In January 2022, a hunter exploring the Appalachian Mountains recorded something unusual.
You'd be stupid to walk out here in a suit. You'd get shot. He's right behind that tree. The big one. Look. Dude, his hair's gray and black. Is that gray? Is that snow?
The footage reveals a large figure moving deliberately through the trees. However, it remains partially obscured by the forest, making it difficult to determine exactly what, or who, was caught on camera that day. While cleaning out an abandoned homeless encampment deep in the forest, Reddit user HollyWhizzle311 discovered something unsettling. Amid the scattered debris and broken items was an aged wooden cross, to which was attached what appeared to be a fragment of a spine. There was no note, no explanation, and no one nearby. Whatever the meaning behind it, it raised more questions than it answered. In July 2008, a boy filming in the Rocky Mountains captured something strange in the sky. A ring hovered silently above the peaks, baffling everyone nearby. The video quickly went viral, sparking debate over its origin. Some speculated it was a portal or something from another dimension. There were no planes, wildfires, or any natural explanation for a smoke ring like that. To this day, the true nature of what he recorded remains a mystery. Was it real, or was it edited? A woman living on a large, gated, and fenced farm with no nearby neighbors in the Appalachian Mountains captured this eerie video. She mentions that she doesn't believe she knows these two girls, and finds it highly unlikely that anyone would be there at that time. Many suspect the girls might not even be human, suggesting they could be skinwalkers, beings that change shape to lure people outside their homes. Considering how unusual it is for anyone to be around, the woman can't completely dismiss that idea. While trekking deep into the Appalachian Mountains, a hiker stumbled upon something unnerving. In a silent clearing surrounded by towering trees stood a peculiar structure, strangely arranged, almost ritualistic in appearance. Intrigued, they took a photo. But later, upon reviewing the image, they noticed something they hadn't seen in person. A dark figure standing among the trees, silently watching. The hiker was certain they had been alone, or at least, they thought they were. So the question remains, who or what was watching from the shadows that day? While walking his dog through the woods, this man came across something unusual hidden in the underbrush, a small device emitting strange noises. Initially, it sounded like static, but soon a pattern emerged, a voice speaking what a friend later recognized as Mandarin. The whole situation felt eerie, and to this day, the origin of the device and who put it there remains a mystery. Hiker Ma Journey set out to reach a remote hunter's cabin deep in the mountains, but as night began to fall, he realized he was still a long way off. Fortunately, he came across an old abandoned tree shelter just in time and chose to spend the night there. That decision may have saved him. A pack of wolves began circling the area shortly after. Had he continued on in the dark to find the cabin, the outcome could have been far more dangerous. Someone staying in a mountain cabin was shocked by something truly unsettling. At first, the footage appeared to show a spider crawling across the surface, but on closer inspection, it revealed something far more disturbing. The spider was not alive on its own. It was being controlled by a parasitic fungus called cordyceps, the same fungus that inspired the infection in The Last of Us. Once the spores infect their host, they take over the body and brain, turning the creature into a puppet. The fungus continues to grow until it ultimately kills the host. The creepiest part is that the spider isn't even aware it's being controlled, slowly moving while dying. A woman living alone in the Appalachian Mountains recorded this video and posted it on TikTok. Out here in Appalachia, the rules are clear. If you hear something, pretend you didn't. And that's just the beginning. If you hear your name called in the woods, don't respond. Don't peek out the window at night if you hear tapping. Never whistle after dark. Always stick to the trail. If something seems almost human, it's not. And whatever you do, don't talk about it too much. Keep these warnings in mind the next time you visit Appalachia. A group of friends rented a secluded cabin in the Appalachian Mountains for a weekend escape. The area was tranquil, encircled by dense forest that seemed endless. One night, while unwinding in the hot tub beneath the moonlight, a low, resonant sound suddenly echoed from deep within the woods.
Yeah, that was a car. Shit. Who's the aliens, bro? Kaylin! I think it's a train.
Es que porque suena así a la verga.
But that's just scary.
Okay, do you guys want to go inside?
No. Es que siempre que no va a pasar nada, pero...
Stop. I'm recording this shit.
Unaware at the time that the Appalachians have a reputation for mysterious disappearances and eerie encounters, they chose to leave the hot tub soon after and retreated safely indoors. While hiking the Appalachian Trail in North Carolina, a hiker unexpectedly came across an old graveyard at the summit. The site had headstones but lacked any signs or fencing to mark it. It wasn't shown on any maps, and no information about it could be found. Though the story behind the graves remained a mystery, the eerie atmosphere left a strong, lasting impression. Less than half a mile into a 2021 section hike on the Appalachian Trail, a hiker began to hear unsettling noises. Every nerve was on edge as the trail remained deserted, and the sound seemed to draw nearer, as if something huge was lurking just beyond the tree line. Fortunately, it turned out to be only cows. Not everything out there is sinister after all, but it's still wise to stay cautious. Deep in the Appalachian forest, a group came across this site.
Alright guys, check this out. We're out here in the middle of the woods, and we found this tunnel. Dude, look at this. Oh, there's wind. Whoa, they're like formation steps. Look at this.
Although debris blocked the entrance, a constant breeze flowed through the gaps, suggesting the passage opened into something beyond. The atmosphere was unsettling and unnatural, almost as if the place wasn't meant to be discovered. They never uncovered the reason for its existence. Living deep in the mountains more than 500 kilometers from the closest beach, this couple never imagined what awaited them one early morning. Around 5 a.m., the wife went to the kitchen to get a glass of water and suddenly screamed. Her husband hurried in and was stunned to see a huge crab slowly crossing the floor. With no open doors and no clear explanation, some suggest it might have come in hidden inside a box. Still, the question remains, how did the crab end up inside their home? While hiking in Appalachia, a man encountered something truly unexpected. So captivated, he decided to film a video about the encounter. Check it out.
Do you hitchhike with bare feet?
In the summertime, yes, but not in the wintertime. It's not healthy to go barefoot in the wintertime.
No driver's license, no identification. What about social security card?
I don't have one. No, my parents did establish a social security number for me, and the card said not valid unless signed. So I never signed it. And then I studied the issue, and I decided to revoke my social security number.
So in a way, you don't exist.
Yeah. And I had a birth certificate, but there was a flood and it washed away. So I don't have that either. I don't exist in the eyes of the government, but I do exist in the lives of people that know me and my Father in heaven.
I have no clue what happened to Titus. He took off somewhere out there.
This mysterious individual had no ID, no papers, absolutely nothing. The hiker went on, stunned by who he had just met, unaware of the true identity of the person he had crossed paths with. They say you're never truly alone in the Appalachian Mountains, and a longtime resident firmly believes it. One late night, he captured this chilling video, a motionless figure, standing perfectly still. Yet there were no footprints or any evidence someone had been there, only silence. Since then, he keeps the lights dim and the curtains drawn. It's haunting, but was it really there? A man living alone along the Appalachian Trail spotted something unusual one night through his cabin window.
The fuck is that? The fuck is that in the woods? Hello? Hello?
A pair of glowing red eyes fixed directly on him. They didn't look like any animal he knew, yet they weren't human either. This wasn't his first unsettling experience in those woods, and likely wouldn't be his last. While out hiking, a man was recording his walk when a bear suddenly began chasing his dogs. Realizing the danger, he acted fast. Spotting the bear charging, he quickly deployed bear spray to protect both himself and his pets. The spray worked, driving the bear back and stopping the encounter from turning tragic. Fortunately, no one was hurt. Dustin Frazier, a TikTok creator, and a friend went exploring Elkmont in the Appalachian Mountains, a long-abandoned site shrouded in ghost stories and eerie legends. But things quickly took a strange turn.
Now she fucking works. Okay. Maybe she's just cold. I'm cold. Ooh, a closet. Is there anything? No. That's not a toilet. They don't be toilet like that. Did you see me? Oh, lights out again. Chad, is this where people do? There's a hot water heater back there. In this house. Also, my question is, what are they trying to keep out? You're like bears, fucking bears. Fucking bears, yeah.
First, the lights began flickering for no apparent reason. Then came the unsettling noises. And then, this happened.
What the fuck was that? I'm just...
As panic set in, they ran, and that's when they spotted it. A figure watching them.
What the fuck is that? What the fuck? Fucking run! What the fuck? Go, 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 go. Where the fuck did he go?
They jumped into the car and sped away, but the figure kept reappearing. Was it all just a prank? Or had they stumbled into something far more unsettling at the wrong place and time? Sydney, a solo adventurer, went back to one of her earliest campsites deep within the Appalachian forest. Upon arrival, the area was deserted. She pitched her tent and started preparing rice and chicken. Suddenly, an unusual noise echoed through the trees.
Is that?
Despite the eerie sound, she chose to spend the night. And luckily, nothing else occurred. A lone hiker captured a video while trekking through the Appalachian woods, providing no context, just the unfiltered moment. Though the forest appears normal, the sound is eerie, a human voice pleading for help, but it sounds strange and unsettling. The hiker didn't pursue the source or explain what was heard. The video remains an unsolved mystery. A man living near the Appalachian Mountains usually hikes alone and had never come across anything out of the ordinary until this one occasion. He captured a scream unlike anything he'd ever heard. While it might have been an animal, the sound felt strangely unnatural to him. Could this have been his first eerie encounter in Appalachia? In June 2020, Jimmy Reynolds spotted two glowing green eyes watching him from the woods near his porch. Living in the forest, he assumed it was likely just a typical animal, but as he approached, the figure quickly disappeared into the darkness.
See, there it is. Hey! Oh, what the f***? Do you see that?
Feeling unsettled, he went back inside, mindful of the dark legends surrounding the woods. While many viewers guessed it might be something like a skinwalker or crawler, Jimmy remained calm, convincing himself it was probably just a cat. At approximately 2:45 a.m., a TikToker recorded this eerie footage in the Appalachian foothills. After later enhancing the video's brightness, they noticed something unsettling. Something moving across the trail that shouldn't have been there. At that hour, in such a remote area, the presence was both unexpected and inexplicable. A shadowy figure can be seen crossing the path, yet the person filming insists they heard and saw no one nearby. Even now, they're still unsure of what they witnessed. While trekking through the mountains, a group of hikers noticed something strange on a distant ridge. Intrigued, they began recording with their phones, zooming in to get a clearer view. The figure seemed to walk upright, but its size appeared too large to be human. Unfortunately, the footage they captured was grainy and taken from far away, leaving its identity unclear. A local resident recently captured this photo with their security camera, and they believe it shows a ghost strolling through the woods. The figure's face is invisible, and the clothing appears unusual. Was it truly a ghost, or merely an unsettling person? While exploring a mountain river deep within the Appalachian forest, a group of Russian tourists claimed to have spotted a massive dark creature. It featured an oddly cone-shaped head and unusually long arms that extended above the water. The creature briefly turned to face them, locking eyes in a few tense and unsettling moments. Then, as suddenly as it had appeared, it vanished into the thick woods. The true identity of the creature remains unknown, but its description strongly resembles that of Bigfoot. One evening, as he was relaxing on the couch, a man observed something unusual peering through the screen door. Initially, he believed it might be a cow or perhaps a goat, but as he continued to watch, its appearance became increasingly baffling. It lacked ears, and its posture seemed strange and unnatural. Its front half was upright, while the back appeared folded underneath, resembling a kneeling position. To this day, no one has determined what it was or what its intentions might have been. A hiker and his family were traveling through a vast expanse of the Appalachian meadows. At some point in the middle of that empty field, they encountered a woman. Suddenly, she snapped without warning.
I have kids in the car. You better go. I have kids in the car. You better go.
What?
Who is that? Who is that?
They're calling me a damn fucking kid!
I got you on video. You better get back.
Jeff's after you.
Jeff's right there. He ain't doing shit.
You're the one to say something about my damn son! And I got it all over recorder.
No one is quite sure what caused her to react or what was going on. Fortunately, she eventually settled down, and the hiker drove away. A woman named Morgan resides deep within the secluded areas of the Appalachian Mountains. She frequently posts about her paranormal experiences online, but one frightening encounter keeps recurring. Morgan has repeatedly recorded the same eerie figure on camera. It resembles her husband in height and build, yet it never turns around. It always faces away. However, This isn't the only terrifying thing she's captured.
I'm at my family's haunted farm. I was gonna come explore with my husband today, but he couldn't get off from work because he's boring, so thought I'd bring you guys.
Several times her audio devices have captured the eerie noise of Appalachian hay, a strange phenomenon where a sound originating deep within the woods imitates human voices. The Logos suspect that the mountains are inhabited by mimics, entities that assume the appearance and voice of trusted individuals. A Reddit user and his friend were hanging out late at night with a group on a 60-acre property, though they mostly stayed within a 5-acre area. To pass the time, they played hide-and-seek. Suddenly, a sharp, eerie scream echoed from the nearby woods. They initially thought it might have been a coyote, but something about the sound felt off. Cautiously, they aimed their phone toward the source of the noise and took a photo. When they examined the picture, they noticed a white figure that resembled a skinwalker. While it could have been anything, the strange sounds and unsettling atmosphere made them wonder, could it have really been a skinwalker? Late at night, a security camera near a forest road recorded something frightening. In the distance, a ghostly figure dressed in white appeared to glide along the trail. Soon after, the local stray dogs began to bark loudly. Whatever they saw was clearly unsettling. No ordinary person would walk that path at such a time, especially since it's so remote and difficult to access without a car. Perhaps it wasn't even human. A hiker captured some strange footage on camera, something he couldn't quite comprehend. It was a red glowing orb with no sound and no apparent source. Just a fiery object floating upward through the forest. Some believe it could be a spirit from tribal legends, while others suggest it might have been a flare or a drone. However, according to the hiker, it didn't seem man-made. To this day, no one has been able to provide a definitive explanation for what he recorded. In July 2008, a man was out with his camera, aiming to photograph local wildlife on a warm summer day. Instead of capturing elk or deer, he recorded something much more bizarre and unexplained.
Last week we posted this video of what we believe is the yellow-top Bigfoot of Colorado. What we're posting today is a version of this footage that has been zoomed in so you can better see the creature, and hopefully this will make up for the low rate.
It wasn't a bear, and certainly not a human, but then it appeared. He was utterly stunned by what he was witnessing, and so are we. Chris Gamer, 08, had just arrived home, feeling exhausted, when something unusual caught their attention. Through the window, 2 glowing eyes were fixed directly on them. Surprised yet intrigued, they swiftly took a photo and posted it on Reddit, seeking help to identify what they were witnessing. To date, no definitive explanation has emerged. It could have been simply an animal, perhaps. However, in the Appalachian area, you can never be entirely sure. Famous actor Henry Cavill, best known for playing Superman, once shared a casual video on Instagram of himself building a gaming PC. At first, it appeared to be a straightforward tech tutorial, showcasing his hardware skills and enthusiasm. However, things soon took an unusual turn. Viewers noticed a haunting face peering through the window behind him. It didn't seem staged, and Cavill showed no reaction. In the comments, some claimed it was a ghost, while others thought it might be a painting. A few even speculated it was an elaborate promotional stunt for a new movie. To this day, that theory remains unconfirmed. So, what was that unsettling figure in his window? Green Gables, a century-old fine dining establishment in Jennertown, Pennsylvania, has long been known for its haunted reputation. One employee, feeling uncomfortable with the eerie environment, frequently recorded footage during late shifts. One night, their instincts proved to be correct.
I can't even describe what it feels like right now. Like, this is just fucking, what the fuck is that?
nope, 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 nope.
A shadowy figure's hand clearly slid over the statue's waist, making it impossible to dismiss as merely a lighting illusion. Naturally, the footage could have been fabricated. Ultimately, we're left uncertain about what to trust. YouTuber Dawson Toller embarked on a journey to explore Elkmont, a once thriving logging town tucked away in the Appalachian Mountains. In its prime, the town was bustling with activity, trains traveling through, sawmills operating loudly, and families building their homes. Over time, however, the trains ceased running, the mills closed their doors, and the area was cleared by the government to create a national park. Today, only a handful of deteriorated cabins and a forgotten cemetery remain, silent remnants of a bygone era. Dawson arrived during daylight to survey the site, and as night approached, he turned his attention to two of the oldest cabins, investigating their mysterious history and haunting atmosphere.
And the first spot that we're going to go to is going to be number 7. 7 and 5 are some of the oldest ones here. So I figured we would start out at one of the oldest ones and then move on from there. There is a freaky ass vibe. And I don't know if that's just because it's dark out and I'm alone, or if it's because there's ghosts, but I'm ready to find out.
He was preparing a repod and an additional camera when, during filming, something unexpected startled him. It caught him completely off guard, leaving him momentarily stunned by what he observed.
I'm in an entire town right now. There's nobody here. An entire street of just houses in the Appalachian Mountains. How crazy. That was really loud. That was outside somewhere. Let's grab the REM pod and take a gander. Just in case. I heard 2 noises. I highly doubt you guys will hear them, but they came from outside. And we are in the middle of the woods, but it freaked me out enough to not stay in the same place for a long enough time because it didn't come from inside here. So let's go ahead and move on to another spot and see if there's anybody that wants to talk to us.
A peculiar noise caused him to halt momentarily. He then proceeded to move toward a different building.
We're gonna walk into this one because this is the one I just heard a scrape.
He persisted in trying to make contact with whatever might still be present there. Suddenly, he heard a sharp sound outside, a branch snapping under what seemed like unnatural weight.
I will say, what is that? We need to step outside. That sounds weird. I don't know. I just don't want it to be a bear or something, because I truly am out here alone. This isn't one of those things where I'm like, I'm alone, guys, and there's some fucking dude hiding outside. Like, we keep it real over here. So we need to step out and take a gander. I heard what sounded like a stick breaking, and we are in the woods, but I'm getting really freaking freaked out.
Concerned that it might be a bear, he grabbed his flashlight and stepped outside, but no one was in sight. As he looked around, he noticed another car parked nearby, which was strange since he hadn't seen anyone else in the area. So what could have caused those noises? Was it at another explorer, a wild animal, or something that never really left Elkmont at all? The footage from this home security camera in Appalachia revealed something intriguing.
Ooh, do it one more time.
Yep.
That's
See
amazing.
if I can go, oops, slower.
Yeah.
Because I was curious.
Oh my goodness. You see the legs on that sucker? Girl, what?
It's a
Are
hornet.
you kidding? No,
It's a
when did
hornet.
hornets start looking like
Look
that?
at that.
That is not no hornet, and a hornet where? Oh.
During the middle of the day, something zipped past. Small, quick, and strangely shaped. The woman initially believed it was a hornet, but her friend insisted it resembled a fairy. Was it merely an insect, or could it have been something more fantastical, visible in broad daylight? In 2014, hunter Michael Green was deep within Uwharrie National Forest, his thermal camera in hand as he often was. Having done this countless times before, he was familiar with the routine. However, that night, something felt different. His thermal camera detected a heat signature, large, upright, and moving in an unusual manner through the trees. Critics quickly dismissed the footage, calling it blurry and inconclusive, with nothing of significance. But Michael disagreed. He was certain of one thing. That wasn't human. To this day, no one has been able to confirm or refute what he saw. So what was it? Simply a person, an animal, or something else lurking in the shadows of Uwharrie? A hiker was traversing Gettysburg's big round-top trail when everything seemed ordinary until they reached the last stone wall at the summit. Suddenly, footsteps echoed all around, stopping whenever they did. Initially, they thought it was just sound bouncing off the rocks, but the noise came from every direction. Then, the unmistakable clip-clop of horse hooves appeared. Remaining calm, they decided to leave quickly. Strangely, almost all of their photos came out blurry, despite keeping the camera steady, and one image captured a strange figure. The next photo, taken just seconds later, did not show it, though it might simply be a blur. To them, it felt like something more than that. A woman had been residing in her Appalachian home for a year when she decided to change things up. She moved 2 large bookshelves, revealing behind them a door she had never noticed before. The door was sealed with tape, indicating it had been deliberately concealed. Curious and a bit cautious, she invited a friend over to help open it. Together, they carefully removed the tape and opened the door to uncover what lay beyond.
Oh, shit.
Behind the door was a staircase that led up to a spacious attic. She had never known it was there before. Now people online are freaking out, speculating that it was sealed to trap something sinister. Given that it's in Appalachia, it's hard not to imagine something eerie lurking inside. A man was out making late-night deliveries when he noticed something unusual by the side of the road. It caught his attention, standing out from the normal surroundings. Curious, he slowed down to get a better look, but whatever it was quickly disappeared into the darkness. Could it have been just his imagination, or was there truly something strange nearby? In the dark, a small child sat softly swinging on a swing. The scene was unusual. There were no houses nearby, and it was the middle of the night. The quiet, eerie image raised questions about who or what the child might be and why they were there at such an hour.
I'm sorry, mate. Fucking look at this. Fucking motherfucker on it. Look, seriously.
He pulled over, but when he looked again, the child had disappeared. Only the swing was still moving, its creaking faintly echoing as if someone had just been there. The man suddenly felt a chill in the air. Was it a ghost? Was there really a child? Feeling unnerved, he hurriedly drove away. This blurry, black and white photo was taken at night by a security camera from someone living deep in the Appalachian woods. The image shows a tall, shadowy silhouette against a faint background. It resembles Bigfoot, but the head appears unusually small. much smaller than what one would expect. Perhaps it's a different creature altogether, or maybe it's just a person in disguise. It was just a typical sunny day in Kentucky when a man strolling near his house noticed something unusual. The sound didn't come from the sky or machinery, but from beneath the ground, piquing his curiosity and leaving him puzzled about what could be causing it.
There's something under the ground, and it sounds like it's about to bust out.
Intrigued, he took out his camera and attempted to record the phenomenon. As he moved closer, the strange rumbling intensified, sounding as if something was stirring deep beneath the ground's surface.
It's over here in the field.
There was no sign of construction, excavation, or anything that would explain the strange activity. No one truly understands what's happening beneath that seemingly peaceful patch of land. It is said that this frightening photograph was captured by a police officer during a patrol near a residential neighborhood in Tennessee. The figure in the image resembled the Fresno nightcrawler, but appeared notably bulkier and had a somewhat cartoonish form. Despite attempts to identify its source or locate similar sightings, no definitive evidence has ever emerged. The case remains an unresolved local mystery. One evening, a woman was relaxing in her Appalachian home when something unusual caught her attention. Just outside her kitchen window, she saw a figure staring back at her through the glass. In Appalachia, there's a strict rule: never leave your windows uncovered after dark. But that night, she chose not to follow it. Many have since wondered why she would break a rule designed to keep her safe.